Hey gamers, what is going on? Squirrely here. Thank you so much for joining me as always. Have you guys ever worked on something really hard? You spend a lot of time on it, you're proud of it, you put your energy and your soul into it, and then right after that, you find out that it's basically irrelevant. It's trash. You gotta throw it out. It's unusable. It has no purpose. Well, that's what I just had to do because last night I recorded a video on my predictions for 2021, the rest of the year moving forward for Team Fortress 2. And in my predictions, I said a couple different things, and I actually predicted the update. And less than a day later, like 16 hours later, the update dropped with almost exactly what I predicted. Now, I'm not a genius. I don't know the future. I just, specifically said in my video, I had a very strong gut instinct that we're going to get a summer update soon, and there's going to be something in there about dealing with the bots. And I predicted it would be later end of summer, at the very latest, at the very end of August. But I had no idea it would be like the very next day. So let's talk about that update. Let's go over it together and kind of the main takeaways, because although the update looks short, there's not a whole lot of bullet points in here. There's actually some pretty big things in there, and they're very different. It covers a lot of different various items in the TF2 world. So let's go through that together, and also my biggest predictions on these bots in general, and also talk about new unusuals and content, things like that. So let's get started. So let's go through the update together line by line and take a look, because I think there's some hidden gems in here, some important things Valve's trying to tell us, or at least show us at face value. So there was a little follow-up as well. If you see on here, they fixed something. Apparently there was an issue with downloading large custom maps from servers, which I'm glad they fixed this right away, because custom maps, community servers is a huge part of the Team Fortress community in general. So the fact they addressed that quickly is actually a big deal in my mind, because there's so many fun maps and servers to play on. Also, something else here dealing with admin access, server command, but the meat and potatoes of the update is down here. Now, in true Valve fashion, typically their updates are just scattered. It's like one main focus, one main thing, and then a bunch of just random things kind of thrown into it together. Valve typically does not like to release a bunch of small patches, a bunch of small updates. They kind of like wait and group them all together. And that's what we see here. But this one I think is a little bit different, because the updates are all pretty substantial, but they're in completely different categories. And we'll look at that together. But I think, honestly, this update was meant to be the bot and kind of cheater update, patch, whatever you want to call it, improvement. But they couldn't call it that, because now you're giving glory, you're giving attention to these people running bots, these other people who are cheating. That's exactly what you don't want to do. They want the clout, they want the glory, they want the attention from Valve. That's exactly what they want. So they couldn't do that. So they had to kind of water it down and put other things in there, which is fine. The more things we can get, the better. But as usual with an update, community driven, for the most part, and we got 18 new community items. These are cosmetics, hats for the most part. I haven't had a chance to look at very many of them. And of course, we also got new unusual effects. There's only 6 of them, so this is a lot smaller than our typical summer update we got last year, but that's okay. Any new items is great. I'm happy to get new things, whether they look good or not. I've come to the point where if Valve's making money, people are getting new content, people are happy to unbox and spend money and support the game, then that's great. But maybe I'll do what I typically do and release a little video rating and reviewing them and seeing how they're going to do in the trading community. But that's the first part of this update, which is good. The second part of this update, the main thing, is they said here they made numerous security and stability improvements. Now, I have no idea how big or how small that is. I don't know if anyone does. Maybe later they'll come out with a whole list of changes. Someone can look through the code, but I don't know if this is like 150 changes they made on the back end for improving the game, or it's like 2 or 3 things. I have no clue. I'm sure something will come out later breaking down each thing, and maybe this is, the Team Comtrust update they've been talking about, which, Valve wouldn't really give all the credit again to one person, giving them like their own update. But, maybe this line here is exactly, that's what it is. Who knows? But that's cool that they said that. I haven't really looked around yet or played myself to see if this is making a big improvement. But I know for me, I've mentioned before in other videos that my computer rig is not that old. It's like 3 or 4 years old. I put a good amount of money into it, and it feels like it's just every week or every month getting slower and slower and slower at running TF2. Everything else runs fine, but just TF2, my FPS gets worse and worse and less stable, and I literally have nothing on my computer besides video files for YouTube and Team Fortress 2. That's all that I have, so I can't wait to play. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Hopefully your game's running and playing a lot smoother, but this could be a big one, and we just don't know about it because it's only one little line on here. The next couple items on here are specifically dealing with the bots and the cheaters, which is good. This is kind of giving more power to the people, the players, the community to just handle the bots like we already have been doing, but make it easier to identify them and also just kind of kick them out quicker. So you can see on here, one of the things the bots would always do is join a server and like immediately call a vote kick on just some random person, and they're like, hey, what the heck's going on? Which is kind of funny, but people got, used to the idea that a bot joins, if there's a random vote, you just F2 and then vote kick the bot on here, but they're making it harder now for bots to do that. So when they join, they can't immediately, call a vote kick. They're adding a cooldown. They're also adding a cooldown on the length. Default is 5 minutes. So those are just things to kind of help. If a bot does join, give people more time to get rid of them before the bot starts spamming vote kicks on other people. The next thing on here is they added a line that kick votes will end early and automatically pass if the target person leaves early. Now, this is something I thought they did a long time ago, but apparently it's still an issue or people found a way around it. I've even seen a couple times in servers with real people, real cheaters, that have some kind of exploit where they cannot be kicked, like no matter what. Vote passes, they're just sitting there. It doesn't matter how many people vote, how many people in the server, how many times you vote kick them. They're just chilling there. But I think the bots had found a way to leave and reconnect still, or leave and join another server right away. So I'm glad they added that. Hopefully they've improved that feature. Looks like they also added something on here to help with the bots because they're always changing their names. They're changing their name, changing their profile, their Steam name, making it kind of hard to track them because they're always kind of changing identity on the internet, you could say. So now they're making it harder to do that. You can't change your name during a match, which is good. You really shouldn't be able to do that anyways. I understand that people should be able to, do whatever they want, change their profile picture, change their name as much as they want. That's cool, but you got to have some limitations because the bots are just out of control, at least when they're playing TF2, so that's a good change right there. This next one should have been done a long time ago, but I guess better late than never. They added a feature where if you're going to kick someone, it'll show you the last time they connected. Basically, how long have they been in the server, which I believe you could see in the mute menu if you went to mute somebody, but you couldn't see it if you called a vote, which is like crazy. They would copy your name, copy your picture. I had a bunch of bots like impersonating me, and it's like, which one is it, right? People end up kicking the wrong person or muting the wrong person. It was kind of funny, but now it'll at least show you when they joined. Another way to just make it easier for people to identify the bots and get rid of them. So it's simple, but it's actually a big deal. Looks like they also removed the disconnect reason when someone leaves a server, which is probably good. It's pointless. It's, there's no reason for it at all. People just used to say funny things or jokes. And this is in other games too, disconnect, you say something funny on your way out, whatever. You used to do this in Quake, you would say something silly. But now they're using it, to promote things that are not good or say things that are not good or just kind of be edgy or silly or whatever. And so there's no reason to have this. I'm glad they're getting rid of it. It's kind of a bummer. People abused it and now we can't have fun things anymore. But that's a good thing because now they're not going to be promoting their cheating websites anymore. This one on here actually kind of bums me out. I cannot believe that it got so bad and so toxic in MVM. They actually had to add something to the update, basically saying that the inspect command only works for people in your party or on your friends list. So if you're playing MVM now with a bunch of random people, you can't see any of their upgrades, which seems harmless. Like, why is that such a big deal? But apparently, people were being harassed so much. You bought the wrong upgrade. You don't know what you're doing. They're being vote kicked from games all the time that they had to protect the newer player. So that to me is actually more sad than anything. I guess it's a good change. It's not a big deal to me. I have no problem playing with new players. I just jump on the microphone and try to help them out. And 99% of the time, people are willing to learn. They're willing to try other things. I will off class or play whatever class I need to play. I just want to play and win. I don't care if we get an A+. The whole point of MVM is to play, relax, hopefully get some good loot at the end. But the fact they had to do that to me is honestly kind of sad. But hey, if it helps out, it helps out. I'm okay with it. They also added a line on here. They changed some of the community sparkle effects, just where they are in the workshop. Nothing on there just to kind of help identify them better. They also added some more tournament medals, which is good. And then they also updated localization files, which I think Valve should just put this first. At every single update, no matter what size, just do this first, kind of like to run with the meme, run with the joke. And then also it looks like they updated some things with different maps on here. And what I think is interesting is that Valve does this. They'll just randomly update things on like certain maps, like sometimes really old maps or modes that nobody plays. But these are all competitive maps. Both of these are competitive maps, almost specifically played by competitive players. Once in a while you'll play it in casual, but it's not like these don't really affect casual that much. No one really cares. But I'm glad they're still addressing them. So I guess maybe it's a good sign. Valve still cares a little bit. They're still, thinking about competitive mode a little bit as well. Who knows? Maybe I'm overthinking this, but the fact that they updated basically just 2 competitive maps and they made some very small changes on here is a good thing too. So hey, I'll take it. That's fine. All right, gamers. Well, that is everything with this update. This video is getting super, super long, but I figured I would go through it because most people, when I see them talking about this update, they just talk about, oh, they're trying to fix bots or we got some new hats and that's it. And I think there's a lot more to that. I mean, Valve was trying to make an effort, at least to cover different areas, right? So look at it. We have fixes and some improvements to some of the different competitive maps, 5CP maps. Although they're small, they're trying, right? They're trying to make it more friendly for MVM players. They're making some changes for that. That's fine. So MVM players get a little bit of something. Also adding new hats, new cosmetics, community items, which is fine. Traders are going to be happy. Other players are going to be happy to spend some money on some new stuff. Also stability improvements and security improvements. That could be a lot bigger than we know. We don't really know behind the scenes yet of how much changes they're making. That's a good quality of life one across the board for everybody. And of course, a bunch of different things are adding to try to identify and get rid of bots as well. So they're not addressing the root cause. Bots are probably still going to be around. Maybe they drop, a bunch of them temporarily and they're going to be back stronger than ever. Who knows? But at least it's easier to identify them and kick them while we look for more long-term solutions. But overall, we got 5 different categories in this update. So don't just say, oh, it's a hat update or it's a bot update. Valve is trying, right? Let's give them a little bit of credit. And now we can look forward to the end of the year because this is when we get all of our updates. So we have Scream Fortress. You can take it to the bank. We're going to get a Scream Fortress update. Also, Christmas, end of the year, we're going to get an update for that Smithmas as well. So who knows? Maybe they have some more tricks under the sleeve. Maybe they'll have some more solutions to the bots. But this is a great starting point. It's been silent for over half a year. At least we have something from Valve to be happy about and look forward to. So thank you guys so much for joining me as always. Have a great day. Hope to see you in casual soon. Please don't vote kick me because I'm not a bot. And yeah, keep a lookout for the next video. Until then, peace.
Oh, that was sick much better, sorry.